Hello and welcome to our look at unseen films from the M&S Archive. I'm Catherine, and if you're watching this as a premiere, I'm online now to answer any questions. Just type them into the comments box, or please get in touch with us via email at any time. Our collection captures all aspects of M&S and includes a fantastic film collection of adverts and internal training films. You can explore these via our digital archive. Today we're focusing on 4 films from the late 1950s and early 1960s. In 1961, we produced a colour cinema advert for our own brand St Michael Wool Fashions, but we also have a much longer black and white edit, which featured in a promotional TV programme. Enjoy!
Who is this young lady? What does she do? Why has she come to Marks & Spencer?
Her name is Celia. She's 21. She's a secretary. She has come to Marks & Spencer because she likes wool. And St. Michael means the best in wool.
Let's accompany her through a dream day and see how Marks & Spencer and wool add glamour to her life.
Getting dressed for the office in a very smart wool double jersey suit, the colour of pale coffee. The jacket, cardigan style, with novel crocheted buttons, pencil slim skirt. Celia chose this from a wide range of styles at 115 shillings. It's an all-wool, 3-piece, double jersey suit with semi-lined jacket and matching blouse. As smart as tomorrow, from the new St. Michael range. She has the right fare, and she certainly has the right clothes. The sweater, fully fashioned botany wool. This St. Michael classic is available in lots of lovely colours. The skirt, all wool tweed, box pleats and fringed patch pockets. Price, 42 and 6.
These chaps are all set for a casual day by courtesy of Wool and Marks & Spencer. This fully fashioned heavy knit is in red with saddle shoulder at 57 and 6. And this fisherman's knit at 40 shillings has an intriguing cable stitch insert and raglan sleeves. Both sweaters available in crew or V-neck.
fully fashioned botany wool cardigan Celia is wearing costs $32 and $6. It has the new low collar. The colour is the season's favourite light donkey, toning with her wool worsted tailored skirt in muted brown and black checks. Halloween, a festive party, and our three girls are ready for it, wearing dresses in wool. This material is beautifully soft to the touch. Celia's dress is only 75 shillings. Fresh from shopping for her winter holiday, Celia is in a wool double jersey jumper suit with pleated skirt, an all-wool heavy jacket at $52 and $6 and jersey slacks. Double jersey dress in patterned jacquard. Simple beige wool two-piece, elegant in style, with hip-level jumper top, costs $92 and $6. Classic fully fashioned twin set and straight skirt in wool tweed. Happy birthday, Celia. The three girls are wearing checked wool skirts with fully fashioned botany wool sweaters. They have chosen these from the wonderful variety of knitwear at Marks and Spencer stores.
It's St. Michael, an unbeatable combination. Wool is so versatile a fibre. It's warm and soft and friendly. The modern emphasis is on texture. Wool has an enormous variety of textures, from the finest jersey to the bulkiest tweed. Wool can be casual or formal. Wool tailors well. Wool takes colour beautifully. Wool is so nice to handle. And when it's wool and St. Michael, it's value for money, it's smartness with comfort, it's fashion with colour. One of the sections of the community that is hardest on its clothes is naturally the youngest. St. Michael, the brand name of Marks and Spencer, means laboratory tested, so that when you buy, you can be sure, absolutely sure, you're getting value for money. Wool clothes by St. Michael are tried, tested and true, and you can buy them only at Marks and Spencer stores. Michael clothes will remain colour-fast and retain their size and shape throughout normal use. The rest is up to you. If you follow the simple instructions on the label of every wool garment you buy, your woolens will stay perfect, like new.
Children have never been so well dressed, thanks to Marks and Spencer and wool. Look at this little boy and girl. Their smart gabardine raincoats are all wool. They come in school colours. They're double showerproofed, they have a let-down hem, they have 2 extra buttons, a non-losable belt, and they are fully lined. Prices from 65 shillings to 105, according to size. attractive double jersey dress with blouse top has a straight skirt with large patch pockets. Comes in lots of lovely colours at 92 and 6. Here's another all-wool double jersey dress from the same range. It's the ever-popular button-through, basic to every woman's wardrobe. The double jersey three-piece suit has a collarless Chanel-type jacket edged with striped jersey, which is repeated on cap-sleeved overblouse. Naturally, all wool. Now a Shetland cardigan with collar and raglan sleeves, worn with an all-wool skirt. 2 for the price of 1. It's completely reversible, plain one side and checked on the other. Celia remembers her holidays. In Rome, she's wearing a dreamy double jersey suit in a new tweed design. It's bang up to date for style, waisted, belted and bloused. Here's Celia in Venice, in an elegant sheath dress in wool double jersey. It has an unusual inset belt. From the new fashion colours, Celia bought deep purple. For Paris, Celia has chosen a wool double jersey three-piece suit. The jacket has contrast revers, which match the overblouse. One of the many colours and styles in the range of St. Michael suits at 135 shillings. From the fully fashioned range at 29 and 11, this botany wool sweater has a V-neck and a ribbed collar and is teamed with a box-pleated tweed skirt. This button-through shirtwaister in wool double jersey is available throughout the size range from 36-48 hip.
Action! Stop!
A classic fully fashioned sweater is worn with a full skirt from the teenage range. Bright, gay colours for the young in heart. Another new St. Michael jumper suit, easy to wear. The casual look with long line jumper top and pleated skirt.
Action!
This wool dress in winter white has contrast piping with matching buttons. It's smart and only 75 shillings.
Action!
The producer wears one of the newest fully fashioned cardigans with the smart tailored look. Price 62 and 6.
It's wool, it's St. Michael, and for the best in wool, visit your Marks and Spencer.
Now we're going behind the scenes to see how M&S worked closely with suppliers to ensure employees were properly trained to produce the best quality goods for M&S. J&P Jacobs started supplying night dresses and slips for M&S in 1929, and by the time this film was made in 1962, had 9 factories, each making 1,500 garments a week. The film shows the benefits of a proper training programme and warns, don't leave it to Nellie.
She gave me an overall. Told me to sit down at this machine. Gave me a bit of cloth. Said, play about with this, love. And if you get into trouble, call me. The name's Nellie. Oh, I've broken flipping thread. How on earth do I work this flipping thing? I don't know how to do this.
Don't leave it to Nellie. The quality of St. Michael goods depends on many factors, not least of which is the skill of the machinist. Good selection and training of personnel is an investment. Many Marks & Spencer manufacturers have training schools, but here's how one of them deals with training. For recruitment, close liaison is maintained with local youth employment officers. Local schools are informed of the training courses, and visits to the factory are encouraged from heads of schools and careers teachers. The start of each training course is advertised and a copy placed on the staff notice board.
I'm Alice Green. The Labour Exchange sent me for my first job as a machinist. I was a bit nervous, but they soon made me feel comfy. I had to do some tests with a thing called a stereogram for eyesight, and what they called aptitude tests, like sticking pins in holes on a board and placing shapes on another board. It wasn't too difficult. Then I had to see the personnel manager. He said I'd be all right, and that I could join the training school in the factory next Monday. And Monday soon came round. Bye, Mum. Don't laugh. I'm off to work. Well, here goes.
The new recruits are made welcome. Each girl receives a booklet which tells them about the company and the training program. This is the school. It's well equipped. There are plenty of specialized training aids and modern machines. It's sited just off the factory floor. The first day's program is designed to help girls settle in quickly. The senior training supervisor introduces Alice to other supervisors who will look after her during the 6 weeks course. Training is based on building up skill and speed in each of the detailed movements which make up machining. Here Alice is having her first lesson in needle threading on a special training model. She will later have lessons on other special equipment to train her in foot control, guiding, machine control, threading, and stitching exercises with bonded fibre or scrap materials. When the girls are more proficient, they follow with simulated production work and then on to actual production in the training school. The training day is split into 30-minute sessions to give plenty of variety and avoid boredom. The personnel and works managers talk to the girls about the job that awaits them, how they are paid a basic rate during the training period, and how when they go into the factory they can earn a wage and a bonus. The hours of work in the 6-week training period will be gradually lengthened to build up stamina and accustom them to normal factory hours. The works mechanic demonstrates to Alice how best to position herself at the machine. Time for lunch. The trainees are taken into the works canteen. Alice has had a good meal, which cost her very little, and with her newfound friends, relaxes in pleasant surroundings. All trainees start on the flat machine. Where they show special aptitude, they move on to other machines in the last 2 weeks. Each task is set a target time and a quality standard. To train the girls to higher speeds, the COP variator is used to change the speed of the machine. The thread cutting exercise. The stop clock is used with each task. In this, Alice practices threading the bobbin. This piece of equipment trains her to replace the machine needle quickly and properly. This machine, equipped with a Vida counter, helps in foot pedal control by training the girl to do a fixed number of stitches at a time. The supervisor shows Alice how to replace the bobbin and demonstrates how to thread the machine. Each exercise is recorded. The records are converted into performance and quality figures, which are seen daily by the trainee. A weekly progress chart will be produced and discussed with the girls. As part of the course, the girls are taken to visit various parts of the factory to see what goes on in actual production. A lecture on quality control and St. Michael specifications. A coach trip to visit another factory in the Jacobs Group. In this case, Paula Works, Liverpool. An important interest visit is also made to a Marks & Spencer store, where they'll see on sale some of the St. Michael goods made in their factory. During the course, relatives are invited to the training center. At the end of 6 weeks, Alice joins the factory strength. She has a career, the factory, a new machinist. Because she has been well trained, she'll bring skill to making St. Michael clothes. For better standards of production, you need modern training. So, don't leave it to Nellie.
In the late 1950s, M&S launched a programme called Operation Simplification, which streamlined all aspects of administrative work, as featured in this film by the British Productivity Council.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
I want to pick your brains, my boy. As an industrial journalist, if you were asked to quote a really outstanding example of a firm cutting out all unnecessary paperwork, who would you plump for?
Well, that's easy. Marks & Spencer. They made a saving of 120 tons of paper a year.
I don't believe it.
It's a fact. In 1955, if they wanted, say, 3,000 pairs of youth grey flannel trousers, the transaction began with an order issued from head office to the manufacturer. With it was sent a delivery instruction detailing the 238 stores where the trousers were required and the quantity for each store. Next, still at head office, individual advice notes were prepared for the stores, detailing the item, the manufacturer, and so on, and also the quantity for each store, extracted from the manufacturer's delivery instruction. The goods, when they arrived, were checked, and full details entered on a goods received slip. These goods received slips and the advice notes were checked against invoices sent to the individual stores by the manufacturers. A ledger was written up detailing all the deliveries for which invoices had been passed for payment during a particular period, at their selling value. The invoices were then authorized, and the ledger sheet, together with the authorized invoices, sent to head office. On receipt at head office, the invoices from all the branches were brought together, 60,000 of them weekly. They were then passed to accounts, who calculated the payment due to the particular manufacturer for all goods received. And finally, they were sent to the trade payment section, who passed a credit to the supplier's bank. Perfectly good system, you see. The only trouble was it had to be geared to handle over 3 million invoices a year, to mention only one item. Then Lord Marx had an inspiration. He decided that as the price of perfection was prohibitive, what they must do was to approximate. So he told his top executives to go through the entire system from a new standpoint. One, they were to assume that everyone was honest until he had proved himself otherwise. Two, they were to assume that transactions normally went through as planned. Paperwork was only to be tolerated when something went wrong. Today, the old system has been cut to the bare bones. The transaction still starts with a delivery instruction made out in head office for the manufacturer, detailing the quantities required in each of the 238 stores. A total of 241 copies is made on an office printing machine. One copy goes to the manufacturer, one to the buying department, one to the trade payment section, and 238 to the post department, where a copy is forwarded to each store. When he has made delivery, the supplier submits one invoice covering all stores direct to head office, where it is promptly paid. And that, unless anything goes wrong, is all head office ever hears of the transaction. At the local store, since the supplier sends no invoice, no checking advice notes against invoices is necessary. The office staff in each store is half what it was. Their only job is to check the manufacturer's delivery notes against the quantity set out in their copy of the delivery instruction forwarded from head office. If the two figures tally, they take no further action. If at the end of a given period, some or all of the quantity is outstanding, they notify head office. At head office, the total of all such deficiencies from the individual stores is totted up, the order for this quantity cancelled, and a rebate for its value applied for from the manufacturer. And that's all there is to it. And that's only one example of the wind of change that was set blowing through the entire business. As a matter of fact, the old system was pretty advanced. That's to say, more concerned with how lines were selling and why, than merely accounting for LSD. But before the revolution, this activity involved reams of paper, statistics that recorded facts already out of date, and which nobody had time to digest anyway. Marks and Spencer scrapped the lot. People, not paper, they declared. The girl behind the counter knows all the answers. Go and ask her.
And it really worked.
Judge for yourself. In 5 years, without any redundancy, just by letting normal labor turnover run its course, they reduced staff over the whole country from 31,000 plus to 25,000. The invoice clerk disappeared from the business, and 1,000 stockroom assistants were redeployed behind the counters. Makes you think, doesn't it? Could we have 2 more, please?
Well, it certainly makes me think.
Our final film is a fascinating look at M&S cakes in the late 1950s, when our food technologists focused on standardising and improving the quality of all our cakes. And this fantastic colour film takes us from bakery to food hall to tea time.
Every week, over 1 million housewives come to our stores to buy their cakes, and each week the number increases. In this film, we shall try to show you some of the work which goes into making a St. Michael cake, the best value obtainable. As in the home, the first step in making a cake is to get together all the ingredients, and it is this operative's responsibility to make sure that the correct amount of each ingredient is used and that they are put into the mixing machine in the right order. As you probably know from baking at home, this is an important factor in making a really good cake, and a mistake by this baker can spoil 500 weight of cake. The raw materials are fed into a stainless metal chute, which feeds them into a large mixing machine which is on the floor below. The camera has now moved to the floor below the raw materials room, and we can see the mixing machine, which has just finished its work. These mixers not only handle large quantities of batter at a time, but are very efficient in creaming together the materials to give the very fine texture which we require for our cakes. It's turned mechanically, so that the batter can be emptied into the depositor below without handling. All the raw materials used have been specially selected for us from reliable producers whose factories and methods have been subjected to the same high standard of hygiene to which we are accustomed in our stores. This machine does the final handling of the batter and is called a depositor. Its job is to weigh out the exact amount of batter required for each baking tin. As you can see, the job is completely automatic, and it can deal with 300 weights of cake in just over a minute. The batter is placed into the tin in 2 drops, as it spreads more evenly. The cakes are now ready for the ovens, which are somewhat larger than the ones used in the home. There are 2 kinds in general use in the bakery for cut cakes. The one you see here is known as a draw plate oven, where the whole oven shelf is drawn out of the oven for filling. The other type of oven is known as the peel, as some cakes are fed into them with a long rod known as a peeler. Most of these ovens are heated by oil, which is easy to adjust and cleaner to handle. Some of the older ovens still use coke, and the furnaces are fed from outside the bakery premises. In this bakery there are 30 of these draw plate ovens fired with oil, and they have a capacity for baking 6 tons of cake every 2 hours. The whole oven plate is filled because a half-filled oven will produce completely different results, and the cakes will lack volume. The baking times are checked by means of a simple clock, which shows the time when the baking should be completed. Most of our cakes take just over 2 hours to bake, but there are variations, which may be brought about through varying oven temperatures, and therefore the man responsible for removing the cakes from the ovens, known as the ovens man, has a most important job, as it is on his decision the cakes are removed. It's only as a result of a great deal of experience that these men can tell by appearance and touch if the cakes are baked right through. The ovens also have to be carefully watched, as from time to time they develop hot spots where cake will become burnt, or cool spots where the cakes are not properly cooked. As soon as these spots begin to develop, a baking engineer must be called in immediately to put the matter right. We are now in the entry section of the wrapping section, and the cakes are passing under a metal detecting machine. This is electronically operated, and as being demonstrated, if any metal objects have found their way into these cakes, a bell rings loudly, and the moving belt is automatically stopped. All the cakes on the belt would then be put through singly to ensure that the cake which contained metal is removed. It's then placed on the top of the machine to be cut up, to find out what kind of metal has found its way into the cake, and if possible, how. By careful selection of packaging materials and stringent precautions in unpacking the ingredients, we are able to bring such occurrences down to a negligible amount. All wrapping is done automatically, and this machine can wrap 35 cakes every minute. The sandwich cakes have to be processed before wrapping, and this is one of the sections engaged in cutting, creaming, and reassembling the various layers which make up an angel sandwich cake. Each of the 3 colors which go to make sandwich cake are baked in whole cakes, which are then cut into layers by the simple means of a taut wire cutter. The chief problem here is to ensure that the various colors are passed through in sequence, so that at the end of the processing, each whole assembled cake contains 3 colors. As the tops of the cake are not creamed, they are conveyed behind the belt on a separate moving conveyor, whilst the other layers pass through to a creaming machine, which deposits an even layer of the parfait filling. The only thing which needs careful watching is the temperature of the filling, as too much heat would cause it to liquefy and would give the cake an unsightly appearance. The machine lays a continuous ribbon of cream on the layers of cake. This has to be broken up by means of a simple wire cutter, which, being very fine, cuts cleanly through the filling and no waste results. The next operation is to put the 2 creamed layers together. When this is done, they are then trimmed to remove the surplus cream. At the same time, the belt at the back, conveying the tops, is timed to the same rate as the creaming belt. The right colored top now becomes available at this stage of the operation to make the whole cake, which is then conveyed away to the wrapping section. All St. Michael cakes are delivered to our stores as rapidly as possible. To achieve this, our manufacturers have closely worked out delivery service which aims to ensure that not more than 24 hours will elapse from the time the cake leaves the factory to its arrival at the most distant store. Here we can see the porter carefully handling a new delivery of cake. The cartons have been designed to ensure the maximum protection. But if the cake is to reach the counters in the same condition it left the bakery, they must be handled with care and stacked not more than 4 high. All cake stocks should be stamped with the date of arrival to ensure that stocks are used in rotation. When this film was taken, our cakes were still being cut and prepared for the counters at the stores. But wherever this preparation is carried out, the first essential in handling cake is spotless cleanliness and rapid handling of the cake back into a wrapper once it's cut. For not only will cake dry out quickly and become hard if exposed unwrapped, it can also pick up mold spores, which, although harmless, will render the cake unsuitable for sale. The cutting room has already been completely cleaned and is ready for handling cakes. It's also important that this section is kept clean throughout the day to avoid accumulation of crumbs and papers. This girl is washing her hands after handling the cake cartons, in readiness for the next task of removing the film which has protected each cake during the transit from bakery to store. Here is one of the assistants removing the baking liners. It's important that these are removed gently so that the cake is not dragged away with the paper. Our technologists are already working on a new silicone liner which will fall off the cake when taken from the tin at the bakery. The cakes are then trayed, ready for the cutter to begin her work. It's important that the girl who prepares the cake for cutting works to a program, so that she doesn't prepare too many cakes which will not be needed until later in the day, as even before cutting, if cakes are left around without the protection of the wrapper, drying out of the cake will begin. fruit cakes are cut by a firm sawing action, which will cut the cake clean, avoiding ragged edges and the loss of cake by too much crumbling. The knife must be wiped after each cut, as otherwise it becomes sticky with the juice from the fruit, which will also give a poor cut surface and will spoil the appearance of the cake on the counter. Angel cake requires a different method of cutting. Each slab is placed on its side and the knife gently pressed through the cake. As you can see, the operation is simple and easy as long as the knife is kept clean. After cutting the cakes, the slab should be reassembled and placed in the tray to avoid exposure to the atmosphere whilst waiting for the attention of the girl engaged on wrapping. One further stage now remains in preparing the cake for the counters. This girl can be seen producing the airtight, neatly filled pack which our customers see in our stores. Watch her movements. They are simple and speedy, and yet the final result is neat and the pack is sufficiently airtight. As yet, we haven't been able to obtain a machine which will wrap cake as well as an experienced hand operative, as the machine cannot adjust itself to pull all the corners tightly. As soon as the cake has been wrapped, it's placed in trays ready to service the counters. We now see the cake in one of our stores, displayed for midweek trading. Although the stock on the 8-foot end of this counter amounts to only 18 pounds, you can see that the counter is well filled and the display looks attractive. Now we see the counter ready for weekend trading. Many more of the larger pieces form a prominent part of the display, and there is sufficient cake on the counter to ensure that even in the busiest period, there is plenty of cake for the customer to select. With a little care in making the display, all the cut surfaces are facing outwards, and as a result, the display does justice to the cake. The feature on this counter is St. Michael Cherry Genoa cake, 80 tons of which are sold every week, and 200,000 families enjoy this cake at their weekend tables. Like most of our customers, this young lady is selecting her own piece of cake. After the sales assistant has weighed it, notice how she wraps it most carefully. She doesn't swing the bag in order to close it, she just folds it. Our cakes are very fragile, and it would be a pity to spoil all the good work which has gone into bringing them to the counter in good condition by the final wrapping after the customer has made her purchase. And here we see the children having tea. But you can see by their faces that there's a treat in store. Yes, Mother has brought them some St. Michael cake. They certainly appear satisfied customers, and we can have many more if we watch the cakes carefully and ensure that qualities are maintained and that all our cakes are sold oven fresh.
I hope you've enjoyed seeing these films. There are plenty more to discover via our website, and please get in touch with any questions. Thank you.